Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Game Park and I want to become a game reviewer. So for my first game, I decided to do a review of The Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures. The reason why I chose this game is because the Angry Video Game Nerd inspires people to follow the goal, at least inspired me to follow my goal, to become a game reviewer. And because of that reason, that's why I chose to do The Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures. So what better way than to do a review of a game made by a reviewer. I also want to apologize if you see me doing any cuts or anything. I'm trying to speed it up and I'm trying not to have all the moments where I'm standing around in on it as well, because that just takes up too much time and I want to have it go by as fast as possible, fast and smoothly. That's just how I like to do things. So let's get on with the game. Here is The Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures. So let me explain the story. You're playing as the angry video game nerd and him and his friends are sitting around playing video games. When they get sick of playing those games, he decides to get up and look for a new one. He notices one on his shelf that he's never seen before and decides to try it out. Upon putting the game inside the system, they all get sucked into it and that's where the story starts. Now you play as the angry video game nerd. He has a Nintendo Zapper as a weapon. It does about average damage on medium and it does more on easy and it does less on hard. He has about an average speed, and overall he's the basic character to play as. The game resembles that of a Super Nintendo style game, and of course due to that, this game is to give people a challenge like in the olden golden days. Most games nowadays won't give you much of a challenge as they used to. Not all games today are like that though, but they have been toned down. The difficult part of this game isn't the enemies or the bosses as much as it is the memorization of the way a platform moves. If you have a hard time memorizing them, then you'll be stuck there for quite a while. Now that you play the game, you'll encounter lots of hazards that will get in your way. They go from normal enemies to spikes, fireballs, lasers, twerkers, pits of death, blocks, insta-kill blocks, flamethrowers, and the list goes on. And then you have to avoid these hazards to get to the boss. Each level has a boss and each of the bosses are different. Some are easy and some are difficult. I don't want to spoil them for you, so I won't mention them too much. As you play through the levels, you will hear the songs of the stages. The soundtrack to this game is pretty amazing. It is enjoyable for the first time and it brings the game to life. But if in case you don't like the tracks from the game, then you can turn down the music and listen to your own songs. There are a total of 9 levels in the game. The first 8 can be played in any order you want as you don't gain very much abilities. Throughout each level you will possibly encounter cameos or other characters that you can unlock. Most of the cameos are of other YouTubers and the characters that can be unlocked are friends of the nerd. There are too many cameos for me to list, especially that I haven't even came close to finding them all yet. You can check how many you found by going to the stats screen in the main menu options. So now let me talk about the characters that you can unlock. First you have the guitar guy. He's a skeleton and due to that it makes him pretty fast. He shoots in waves by his guitar, but it isn't as powerful as the nerd Zapper. He is more of a character for long range because he can shoot through walls, even though it shouldn't be possible as sound tends to bounce off walls, but it's helpful that it doesn't do that. He can also dodge oncoming hazards pretty easily due to his speed. He can also jump further than the rest as well. Then you have Mike. He's more of a close ranger as he uses a lightsaber as a weapon. It still has good range, but it's not a gun. But it may be more powerful than the nerd Zapper. He moves about the same pace as the nerd and can sense blocks that can be destroyed and can see hidden blocks as well. He is average overall. Then the last character you can unlock is the Bullshit Man. He is made of bullshit. He is a powerhouse, causing tons of damage to an enemy when he hits them, which makes him take them out faster than the other characters, but the downside of him is that he is incredibly slow, and that's bullshit because he can't make most jumps. Overall a decent player, but using him can be sort of a hassle. Each of the levels are different themed. You have castles to winter wonderlands, then to hell, and from there a low bit porno shoot, and that's only half of them. Once you beat all 8 levels, you unlock the last level, LJN, Laughing Joking Numbnuts. The final level, it is a mixture of most of the levels in the game. It'll take a few tries to go through it. It took me a while, but then I got to a point where I had the entire level memorized and was able to go through it with ease. It was the battle at the end of the level that kicked my ass. I'm not gonna spoil the final boss for you. Most likely you will die on him, and when you die, you will see the death screen, and each death screen says something that the nerd would say, most likely in his videos. And then once you get a game over, it leaves you a message. So then after you beat the final boss, you will get a cutscene of the nerd and his friends being ejected from the game to go back to their normal lives, but then decides that is boring and goes back to play the game again. And thus the game is beaten, and hopefully you feel accomplished by beating it. So that is my review of the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures. I hope it is good for my first review. I talked about it as much as I thought on it, and I hope I didn't miss out on anything I needed to say in it. I say it's worth a play, and I think it's on sale for Steam for $14.99, so I would get it and try it. It's worth it, and if you see it on the Steam sale, then you can get a great deal out of it. I think I got mine for $7.99 or something of the sorts. So if I had to put this game anywhere, I would put it in the good category because it is a really good game. Not everyone would like it though, but I would recommend it. So one more thing before I leave this off, you might hear different volumes in the voice. At times you might hear it really quiet, and at times you might hear it really loud. It's because I'm doing this at separate times, and I'm doing it in a way to where I get it right instead of stutter all the time. I also recorded a majority of this when I was really tired, so I used a softer pitch for my voice. So I hope you enjoyed my first review, and I'll see you guys in the next one.